Hello, it's Jesse Green, the 619 Nerd, and this is last night's Raw review of May 7th of 2012. And it starts off with John Laurinaitis coming out saying people power is the best and why I was not fired for what happened last week with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. And he also threatened any superstar who made fun of him, which will happen, because apparently John Cena made fun of him last week, even though at the time as I was watching, didn't CM Punk call him a toolbox, which that will come later in this review. Yeah, so pretty much he's laying down the gauntlet. I don't even swear. I will get better at this, I swear. He laid down the gauntlet, and he said John Cena is not going to be here today, but there will be an interview later on with Michael Cole. So we had something to look forward to that. And then, when he was done, CM Punk came out. He called him stupid, ugly, you had no fans, and just because you created people power, that sorry, I keep moving it all over the place, sorry about that. Anyway, he called him ugly, stupid, had no friends, and a toolbox. So I kind of marked out, yes, yes. And then he said later tonight, at the main event, will be him versus Lloyd Tenzai, non-title, of course. But yeah. So that's how we started off Raw. Then and then they come back. John Laurinaitis, I was going to say Cena, runs into Big Show. He starts yelling at him. He started making fun of him. You see Eve, who's the new assistant, his executive assistant, whatever that means. But as the weeks have gone by, she's covering herself more and more. Trying to look professional, but you know. So the next match is the first match is Cody Rhodes versus Big Show for the IC belt, and it was a bad match. It was a slow. It's a typical Big Show match. And within a couple of minutes, Cody Rhodes demanded his belt and walked off. And then, after that, Eve comes out and made Big Show apologize to her. I don't know how she got that much power. Well, I do know, but I'm gonna be a gentleman about it. And then we have Kofi Kingston. The new tag team, one half of the tag team belt, versus Dolph Ziggler. Really good match. It could have been a little bit longer, but you know, it's still a good, decent match. So for the last couple of weeks, every time the tag team champion, they lose a match. And they just won this belt, and now they can't even win a single belt. So it's a step backwards, in my opinion. Okay. And then by this time we have Michael Cole's interview with John Cena, quote unquote, not at the arena, but he was probably in the back somewhere. It was okay. You know, Cole's style is Cole's style. He kept rattling on some of the old John Laurinaitis matches, which I've never actually heard of him until he became a personality. I'm saying that loosely in the WWE. I've never actually seen one of his matches, and even in the interview before that, he was rewriting history, how dominant he was in Japan. I never heard of you before, so why would I care? So yeah, he said he was impressed by his matches, but John Cena says, I'm impressed that he hasn't hurt himself yet, and he thinks he's really gonna wrestle John Cena. I said that before. Cena's had Kane. Even before that, you had CM Punk, which is really good. You had Kane, Brock Lesnar, The Rock, and now you got John Laurinaitis. What's wrong with that picture? Okay, what the? Oh, I can't even read my own writing, which is sad, but it's so true. Okay, we have the Divas Tag Team match. Kelly and Layla versus Maxine, which I've never actually seen wrestle before, so it's kind of good to actually see her on real TV. She's part of NXT, I believe. So she just like screams like Daphne back in WCW, I believe, or was it ECW? I forget. But she has like this loud scream. But heck, Layla won the match. And they didn't even tag in Kelly. It was really a throwaway match. It was decent, but you know, they could have done better. I wish they would. And then you see even John Laurinaitis in the back. He said, I don't believe Big Show's apology was sincere. I'll go see him. So she went and sees him, which we'll see later. Really throwaway. Then you have, oh, this one's good. Brothers Clay versus The Miz, which, and I think this has been a while since you even saw The Miz even uses his catchphrases. I'm The Miz, and I am awesome. Actually, it was a decent match. For a Brothers Clay match, it wasn't a squash. Pretty much Miz dominated, but he made this mistake at the end for the Brothers to win. So that's actually good. He can do longer matches, Brothers Clay. He can win, even though he doesn't have to dominate every match. So that's actually good. And it's good to see Miz actually do something other than, you know, get squashed by Cena or Sheamus or anybody else, even Santino. So hopefully they do something more with him. Maybe have a long feud with Brothers Clay. He could use something. The shot, and for the last couple, ever since WrestleMania, there's been like somebody major returning, and Paul Hamen comes out, which people cheered / booed, and you heard the ECW chant, and it's good to see him back. And we never thought you would see him back after dumbing down ECW that way WWE did. It's good to see him back and actually be with Brock Lesnar again, because he really needed a mouthpiece for him. And apparently he quits, but we all know he'll be back no later than Survivor Series, which is, what is it, August, September? So yeah, they only can have so many, apparently he has like 30 appearances for the whole year, which is actually more than The Rock, but, you know, you have to save him for the end, like for WrestleMania and stuff. So you know he'd be back, but it was good to see him. He actually had some valid points, and some not so much, but it's actually cool. Then they showed Triple H with the robot arm. He's the Robo CEO. Instead of RoboCop, he's the Robo CBO. I can't even say. So let's skip that. Rewind and forget I ever said whatever I just said. Yeah, they showed Big Show joking around with there's a new show, Common Law, which they showed them earlier on that they were joking about Eve, John Laurinaitis. So you see him look back and Eve was looking at him sternly, but nothing was said. Kind of stupid in my opinion. And then you got and at the main event, CM Punk versus Lord Tenjai, and as he was coming out, John Laurinaitis came out and said, "Oh, it's gonna be a handicap match, Lord Tensai and Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk." It was okay. It was kind of one-sided. You still see the yes signs, but you don't actually hear the yes chants anymore. I believe a couple of weeks ago they would take the signs for Daniel Bryan, and then a couple of times like SmackDown they would filter out the yes, but you do see people do it. Not as much as they did. I think they kind of lost the ball on that. Oh wait, I think I skipped one. Oh, I skipped a match, didn't I? Anyways, it was a first time in a long time the actual champ actually main event a Raw. Well, SmackDown they do it regularly, but it's been a while for Raw. Other people called CM Punk the middle card champion because John Cena's always in the main event, which is wrong. I think it should be prominent. And if Cena and John Laurinaitis match is the main event, I'm gonna puke. I'm gonna puke. I don't care. It's not gonna be good. Oh yes, I did skip a match. Sorry about that. I get lost. Well, you see it. Look at this. How can you read this? Sorry about the glare. It's hard to read it sometimes. I skipped a tag team match. Alberto Del Rio and 19. Oh, Chris Jericho versus Sheamus and Randy Orton. It's okay. It was a decent match. They all had their spots. But and most of the time it was CM Punk, not CM Punk. Alberto Del Rio working and Jericho working on Sheamus' arms. It's still bandaged, kind of like John Cena. Rip off. Sorry, had something in my throat. Rip off of John Cena. Sorry. But Sheamus kicks Randy Orton. Then Chris Jericho code breaks Sheamus for the win. He tries to take the title. I beat him. Then Randy Orton RKO's Sheamus because of it was a mistake, but you know it's It's Randy Orton. You know he's gonna do something. So in the back, I think that's when Eve was talking about Big Show, and when she left, all the other guys come in, and they start a fight right there, and then so for at the next pay-per-view, it'll be a fatal 4-way, which is gonna be good. That one might be worth watching. Sheamus versus Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho and Alberto Del Rio. I'm glad, because no way Alberto Del Rio deserved a title shot. He just came back from injury. Why is he handed a title shot so early? He needs to work his way back into it. And it'd be a good match. So it was a okay Raw. I've seen worse. I've seen better. But it wasn't too bad. They only have so many Raw. It's like less than 2 weeks away now, or until the next pay-per-view. So they have to get so much in so little time. So I don't really like how they do that. But they do it at this time of year. The slow build-up of WrestleMania is long gone, so you have to ramp it up a notch. They have to go to 11. And should be like a 7. Okay. If you get that, all power to you for that joke. Alright, I'm just agreeing the 619 Nerd. I'm signing